Cash! We found a lot of birds. We don't have a breath of wind this morning. Frozen like this, they're probably not gonna fly till a little bit later, but we'll be here when they do.
Over the back. Nice shot.
Now we're gonna load all our stuff up, and I think Clayton and I are gonna divide up. He's gonna take the boat out and scout, and I'm gonna take the truck and get up in some high places and see if I can see some ducks flying, and get a game plan for tomorrow.
In this life, few are blessed to find their true calling. The unquenchable passion that forges an innate focus and determination. Night and day, it consumes your mind. It cannot be shaken. No obstacle too daunting to overcome. No failure too painful to surrender. The struggle only adds sweetness to the victories. For us, this is duck hunting. This is Foul Minds.
Scouting is actually my favorite part of the hunt. I like to shoot ducks, but I like to find them. You know, you're talking about a bird that migrates from one end of the country, or from Canada. Some go all the way to South America, and you've got to find them, set up on them, trick them, and shoot them. And they've got the advantage because they've got wings, they move. So that's what we're doing. We're scouting right now. About to be dark right now. We got about 45 minutes before it gets dark, but I'm up here on a hill looking down into a valley, and this is a little like creek, and you probably aren't going to be able to see them with the camera, but there's about probably 2,000 mallards within 500 yards from me. I don't think we'll be able to get that mud boat in here. It's just you got to run dry a few places. But this is probably a really good option for us for in the morning, or hunt somewhere else, wherever. If Clayton finds something better, we'll hunt there, and then we'll come back here tomorrow evening and check on these ducks again, and hunt that the following morning. So Clayton's not going to be far from me. Clayton's probably only about 3 miles from me back to the south, so see what he comes up with. All right, well, we're gonna hunt where Clayton found birds yesterday, because the spot that we glassed and found those birds, Rick said it's waist deep mud once you get down there, and we don't have the airboat, and that means we're walking in, and it's a pretty far walk. So Clayton found a bunch.
Yeah, I'd say that's where most of the birds are. They're dry feeding in some wild millet, and we've seen them there now 2 days. It's just a grind that they're just in there feeding. So probably we want to get in on the action, really. I think that's the most important part. Get in on some of that feeding action. It'll be frozen in there, so they might come in a little bit later, but we're getting an early jump today. We need some nitrous.
Here is where the airboat shines. Now we got a little bit of a walk. Some people walk their dog in the morning for exercise. Clayton and I push a John boat through the ice
at 4 a.m.
Right over there, there's millet, there's bird poop and feathers. So you'll see there's actually standing millet over there instead.
There's not really any duck food or poop here, so.
All right, guys, so we're waiting on the birds. We're all set up. Got some full bodies out. Got some air boss decoys in the larger puddles of water, and everything's still frozen up here in this wild millet, so we're gonna wait for it to thaw out and get these birds coming in here to feed here mid-morning. Hopefully we've seen like a bird or two in the sky, and one group, we're confident they're still here, so we're gonna get them. Don't come back either.
Now for a quick tip from one of our partners.
Hi guys, I'm James Hard with Hard Retrievers, bringing you a couple of tips today. First, what we started out with was a golden retriever that is a young dog that has never actually seen the stick drill. So what we do is put a stick out and we'll put multiple bumpers. We'll then have a bumper and we'll toss it to it. What we're trying to do is bring a recognition to the pole, being rewards underneath it. So what we'll do is we'll throw multiple times, and then the dog will have success, and then we won't throw it once, and we'll just say on its name or back, whichever one you prefer. So what you saw was Puddin', which is a young dog, which is what you will be able to expect. For more information, visit us at hardretrievers.com.
So it's like basically all this area we're hunting is wild millet. It's got about that much water on top of it. So this morning when we got here, everything is frozen, solid. The sun's coming up now, so it's starting to melt. So we're basically standing in a mud hole. So we just moved the blind a little bit to a spot that is still frozen and looks a little drier. And hadn't had much action yet, but geese are starting to fly. So those ducks that were feeding here yesterday, hopefully they're coming in here pretty quick. So we get set up and wait on them.
So we're pretty beat, exhausted. I would say, what was it? It was probably, we sat out here till 2 p.m. until the birds would even land on this north end of the lake. It was frozen solid. Around where we were, you know, it was plenty thawed out because the dogs had walked through it, we had walked through it. And yeah, the sun came up, I guess it was hell about 2 p.m. But they didn't really like the panel blind was the biggest thing I noticed. If you pan over here, you see you can, along that rock, the further you get that way, the softer the mud is. So there would have been no place to set the, you know, set the panel blind without sinking. But yeah, they just kind of kept coming in and not really flaring, but just acting like they weren't interested. I mean, they would just kind of skirt us, and I don't know, it could have been, we don't really know exactly what it was, but nonetheless, we grinded it out. Would it be ground or grinded? But we sat it out and shot our ducks, and
we went mudding.
And
now we got to mud about 3/4 of a mile back to the boat. But hey, we got a limit, and we had a good time. Like Clayton says, started off kind of slow this morning, but man, there's ducks coming in by the hundreds right now, so it was well worth it.
Yep.
Well worth it.
Absolutely.
In this life, few are blessed to find their true calling. The unquenchable passion that forges an innate focus and determination. Night and day, it consumes your mind. It cannot be shaken. No obstacle too daunting to overcome. No failure too painful to surrender. The struggle only adds sweetness to the victories. For us, this is duck hunting. This is Foul Mind.